I I don't. Yeah, I don't know how to begin this video in any kind of clever or interesting way. Sorry. Okay, so I have been editing for 2 days, two very solid days, a little bit more than that, and it's I'll be editing a lot more into this evening, but I wanted to give you a little view of where I'm currently at, what's going on, and I actually had to. That is kind of thinking of what I probably should have done to prepare and before I started rolling this camera, but we're rolling, so oh well, here we are. I actually had to set up an external monitor, which I almost never do because I like operating kind of like exclusively within the confines of the MacBook screen. It's just easier that way. But webcams, the timeline on this project is just so unbelievably massive. Let me get to the beginning here. It gets, in order to just visualize it and understand what I am editing and how everything gets layered together, it gets so, you can see just right here, you can see that 15-inch screen gets very limiting. So I actually set up an external monitor to use for the first time in a very very long time. Usually I've set it up before and then I've just taken it down because it's more trouble than it's worth. Anyway, I wanted to show you a little bit of the progress. I don't want to show you too much because it's actually very I don't know. I think there's some cool things happening here, and spoilers. Basically, I don't want to give away too much. I want you to be able to watch it, especially all the people who have read the script and contributed, or are just following along. I want you to be able to watch it and still be surprised and delighted by what you see. But I wanted to real quickly. Let's drop that down. I got a cat wanting to come in, so maybe I'll let him in. Hold on. Yup. Okay.
Come on, buddy.
Okay. Let's see if he's a big. He's my big mother fuzzer, is what he is. My big mother fuzzer. So right off the bat, and I know I'm not off the bat anymore, but thank you guys for watching and leaving comments and liking the last video, how I begin the edit. That was really just, that was awesome. I've been really struggling on YouTube. I haven't been struggling with creative. That's interesting. There's no struggle with creative. That comes just fine. But I have been struggling with YouTube, which is weird because I'll just show you guys real quick. I've got this one video that is sitting at 1.9 million views. I'm almost at my first video with 2 million views on it, which is unbelievable. Okay, buddy, get down. There you go. Which is insane, and it's kind of just this video that has been on there since 2016 and blew up in the last year or so. And it's a 15-second video, it's a 20-second video, and I only just got monetization within the last month or so. It's something else I've talked about. So 2 million views, almost 2 million views, but only the last, 100,000 views have been monetized, which equals like a pittance on a 20-second video, like nothing at all. But still, it's, despite that, which probably isn't that unusual in the spectrum of YouTube, I still am struggling to figure out, which is really weird, and probably could talk at length at all of this because, again, don't have any problem with creative. I know what I want to do with my creative, and I know how I want to do it. It's just the audience for the specific things that I want to do does not seem to quite be there on YouTube, aside from you guys with this, which is weird. I don't understand it. But the point is, thank you, guys and girls and friends, for watching like me talk at length and ramble about creative and my editing process and my creative process and my organization and stuff like that. Because that stupid little video still becomes the most the best performing video that I've had in a while, compared to, which for me it's a little weird because there's other things like that have a lot more work that go into it, like the animations and stuff, which is also weird to say because it's not like the work behind that vlog, behind the final cut was getting started on webcams. It's not like that was non-existent work either. So I don't know, maybe there's more value. Maybe there's more stuff. I don't know. Anyway, point is, thank you. Sincerely. Thank you. This has always been a very weird struggle for me. YouTube. And it means a huge amount for every view, every comment, every like means a huge amount. So like Alan, thank you, sir. Rob, Jim, Ben, and even the spammers, whether these are spams or not, I don't know. Who knows? Thanks for watching. Thanks for spamming. Even at this stage, even especially at this early stage, the spam's great. It's good. It's not bad. Not going to complain about it. So this was very cool. I guess this probably was the most interesting one. Rob talking about his inspiration moment at 1609, which was basically me just talking about like this and like finding space in my life or defining space in my life for creative. So I can't be the only one, and clearly I'm not. So it's cool that we're all on the same page here together. Anyway, enough of me fawning over my friends. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Here's where we're at. Here is what. Let me minimize me because you're not here for me. Actually, I know. I know. You are here for me. But let me show you. What I'm obsessing over and what I'm working on. One interesting thing. Let's go back to the beginning here. I've talked about it before. Talked about it yesterday, and of course I don't even have it in here anymore. Or talked about it last time. The camera. And I didn't do this intentionally at all, and this is weird as I'm talking to my webcam as I'm editing and producing a episode of webcams, but I shot my own footage over here, not on the webcam, and it looks completely. I gotta tell you guys, look how beautiful this is. Look how great this is. This is a point and shoot camera with that 1-inch sensor versus the tiny little sensor you have in a cell phone or even like on the computer. It really is a unbelievable night and day difference. And I did not mean as you play through this, you'll realize like, oh, I'm the only one who is using that higher end camera, which again is not even that high of an end camera. It's a $400 point and shoot camera. But when you kind of like see everyone else, it's like, oh, well, I probably could have dialed that back or something. But again, like maybe that's also part of the point. If this over here is what you get off of, a $400 point and shoot versus a phone. This is what like I said, I was obsessing over things. This is what I'm obsessing over, aside from the actual edit that I'm doing here. I have long since said that the phone, this is a Pixel, but I am a huge advocate of the iPhone as like the best camera out there, and certainly in respect to video. The point and shoot simplicity of it is just brilliant, and again, I'm speaking as you know, a video producer who's been at Visit Orlando, Orlando Sentinel newspaper, and AAA National, as well as freelancing. So I've produced a lot for other people, and there isn't a better run and gun camera than an iPhone. And you know, what's fascinating as I'm looking at this lineup of footage, as I'm playing with my little point and shoot, how much of a difference the little point and shoot makes. And that's why I'm really excited about the new camera from Sony. If anyone is, you know, on ZV-1, if anyone's, did not actually mean to talk about this one, but if anyone's shopping for a camera right now, this is, I would actually recommend the LX10, but this thing here is $800 and built for video, and they did a really good job with this camera. And what I find really interesting about what they did with this camera is they kind of just took the simplicity of the smartphone and put it into a point and shoot. So then you have the large sensor size and the better lens on a point and shoot that's delivering much better video quality. And while that is not the same camera I used, I mean, you can just see the difference, the night and day difference in that quality of footage from a 1-inch sensor to a webcam or a smartphone or that other video quality. I've just been obsessing over that for the last few days. It's a really interesting gadget they have here. And then I rabbit holed on a mirrorless camera and saw that dpreview.com has a great rundown of you know, what specific lenses to get for whatever model you're buying. And then I'm like, oh, here's the most affordable recommended lens for, you know, a wide aperture, and it's like $800. I'm like, still expensive. This camera here is $800. So anyway, stuff, nerd, tech, and stuff. Anyway, big advocate of using what you have, and you'll see in this video, when it plays out, it's such a cross-section of tech from everybody. But one of the things that I love to say, or you know, when I'm talking about story and editing and video production with people, is that you, as long as, like, how important sound is versus video, which kind of clarifies the whole camera conversation. If everybody sent me great video that looks like, you know, this up here in the corner, like my footage, but like audio that was super like distant or noisy or had a lot of ambient noise and like that couldn't be cleaned up, like really bad audio, it would be a dead video. It would have been horrible. Now, if everybody sent me footage literally from their webcams on like the shittiest webcams ever, but had this audio on it, I could still cut the video together. I could still cut the episode together because we would still have enough video to represent the story, but we can also hear it. Video is important. Video, the quality is great, but use whatever you have. It's not that big of a deal. The important thing is the story and how you tell the story. And when this video is done, you're gonna, I mean, we've done this before. This is no mystery, but this is a good reminder of how critical audio story is, number one, but then like audio and then video. It's good to have great video, but it's not the most important thing in the world. So now that I've talked at length about a bunch of things that I had no intention of talking about, let's actually look at this video and give you a tiny little tease. One of the exciting things, I had to dig around my hard drives, but I wanted to, let me see if we can crank the audio up a little bit. My MacBook is a 2017 model, and the speakers are blown, so only one works, and then, or sometimes they both work, but then the right one blows out, and sometimes the left one blows out. It's a mess, but I'm gonna play a little bit, and let me backtrack again. I had to dig around my hard drives to find the assets from Failure to Lunch, because I still wanted to use, like, Failure to Lunch from 2017, 2018 represented the pinnacle of my visual design for that video chat series. So I wanted to find those to implement both I have all of the templates, but I wanted to have the actual edited versions and the edited templates from the Failure to Lunch. It took me a bit to find them, but I finally did. So here's what it looks like. Let me change this a bit. And I'm going to skip forward a little bit.
What up, my man?
Chris, dude, I am just bursting with ideas on how we could, reboot webcams. And listen, honestly, I'm just happy you could make some...
It's coming together. So I've got about 2.5 minutes edited together, and I don't want to give away too much other than, what you're about to see here. New title sequence. Same animation title that I use for Failure to Lunch. It's just been updated for webcams. There is going to be so much music. There is going to be so much creativity. Cat scratching at the door. That's kind of where I'm at. This has been... Actually, no, there was something else. Okay, buddy. This is what I wanted to actually talk about. For a while, I have felt like my editing style is almost like painting with video, or painting on a video canvas. And that's actually one of the reasons why I like to describe the Final Cut timeline, this down here, as a canvas. I prefer to call it as a canvas instead of the timeline, because... one, it's magnetic, and this is how I handle the magnetic timeline. I just leave the slug in there, and then I lift everything above or below it. And that's the trackless system in Final Cut. You're able to layer and build your sequences on top of each other as though it were just a big canvas. And what is extraordinarily complicated about webcams, about this version of webcams, is that it builds up to these very complex sequences where you have upwards of, like, so far, 8 people on the screen at once. And if you just kind of look in this section right here, first you have to edit for audio, and you have to get the rhythm and the dialogue and everything in place. But then you still also have to edit. So you're editing first the sound and the dialogue and the audio and the timing, and then you have to editing for the visual. So when it is that webcam's grid, when it's all of these sequences, all of these players cut together, it's not so much a linear thing like a typical filmmaking where I'm talking, then you're talking, then I'm talking, then we do the wide shot. It is all of these simultaneous performances, even though the times where we're showing them simultaneously might only be a few seconds, it's still a giant cluster of an edit to kind of figure all of that out and lay it all out. And it really did. This project more so than many others in the past, has absolutely felt like painting, because you've got all of these people talking, you've got the settings, you've got this blurred out background, you've got the video notifications coming up. There's so much happening that you just keep layering and layering and layering on top of each other on this canvas. And that's like, by nature of what I'm doing here, like, I haven't even gotten into like color correcting and fixing the look of the shot. So like Chris, I have to go back and fix his shots a little bit. Same with Eric. These guys are going to be through the video so much, I have to clean up their shots. Could have done that before I started, and that would have simplified the process, but I'm also trying to conserve processing power, because this is such a massive, complex project. But that's it. That's it. Like, look at this thing. Look at this thing. It's a beast. It is a big, beautiful cluster of a beast. That's it, guys. If you found something inspirational in this, leave a comment. Let me know. Let's keep talking about it. What camera? I think that's actually a really good question. Like, what is your ultimate camera? And I'm actually asking for myself, because I'm curious. I very much, like, I looked at that Sony ZV-1. I'm like, oh, $750, $800. I'd love to buy that and have that for like video purposes, for like webcams. But I'd also like to get a good mirrorless camera with like a Sony mirrorless with great autofocus, because that's an even better multi-purpose camera for animation as well as video. But then all of the lenses added onto that really go crazy. What is your dream camera? What would you like to be using? I don't know. Thanks for watching, guys. Please stay safe out there. Do not go outside unless you absolutely have to. If you do go out, stay very smart about what you are doing and where you are going. And, as always, above and beyond all of that, stay creative. If you've done something creative, if you've made a video and I haven't seen it, shoot me a note, like tweet at me or let me know on Facebook. Let me know so I can be a better supporter of you as you guys are of me.